Hey guys, so welcome to the channel for today. We're going to be talking about one of the most intimidating things in War Thunder, which really is sim battles for a lot of people. Remember when I first started, it was definitely intimidating. I could not figure out how to take off to save my life. Don't worry about it. We're going to go over everything today. Simply just to state, I kind of ran into a really frustrating situation with another teammate of mine earlier today, which encouraged me to make this video, considering that every tutorial video is about 2 years old or more. And I just don't feel like they cover as much as they should. And these are definitely going to be tips that you are going to want to know, especially when you are trying to get started with sim battles. So today we're going to be going over some of the fundamentals of sim battles. We're going to talk about trim for your airplane, auto trim and stuff like that. Just basically how to take off, mouse and keyboard versus a stick, depending on who you're playing against or what you think you want to play with. Controls. We're going to talk about aiming, farming in sim battles, which is huge for you, and then knowing your plane and knowing your role in the game. So each one of these things are going to come with their own set of information that you're going to want to take down. Feel free to take notes. You guys can always go back into the video and take a look at everything that we're talking about today. But also, I just wanted to make sure that you're kind of on the same page. So the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is fundamentals. So you can see this person, Saddam 38 missiles, is doing some pings to let everybody know, hey, this is where I'm at. And let's go ahead and load in to the game here so we can see. So if I hit the letter T, I play on mouse and keyboard, by the way. So if I hit the letter T, I go to the number 4, and then I hit 1. That lets him know, hey, I'm here. The reason that we want to ping always our location is because you don't know who anybody is in sim battles. This is about as realistic as it gets in terms of just not having communication with allies. So imagine there's 10 of you on a mission, which is highly likely in sim battles, and you don't know where any of your teammates are. You guys all depart from the same runway, but you guys lose sight of each other. That is a very real thing in sim battles. So we rely on T4 and 1 to let everybody know, hey, this is where I'm at on the map. Kind of shows it in an exclamation point ping, so that everybody knows, hey, whoever you're looking at is not me. It's very important anytime that somebody pings, you let them know, hey, this is me or it's not me. This is going to avoid a lot of team killing. It's going to avoid a lot of Silver Lions lost and RP lost. It's going to avoid any confusion, and it's going to ultimately help you win the game. So we'll talk about takeoff a little bit here. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to be sitting on a runway, right? And you can actually look outside of your airplane as long as you're going 0 miles per hour or 0 kilometers per hour. After you go about 1 to 2 miles per hour, kilometers per hour, it's going to force you back into the cockpit like this, no matter what. We'll do an example of it real quick. We'll throttle up here, and it automatically put me back in there. Now, the one thing that you're going to notice is my plane immediately went to the left, even though my cursor was all the way to the right. So when you are taking off, and this is where so many people get kind of messed up on or can't really take off, the first thing I want you to do, put your takeoff flaps on. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is just slowly, gradually up your throttle here. And then we're going to go WEP. It's a lot more controlled now. It's still a little bit wobbly. We're already going off the runway here. You don't need that much altitude and props, or that much speed and props. And we're just going to bring up our gear. We're going to bring up our flaps. We're off the ground. That simple. Okay. So we're actually, now that we're up, here's our plan. We already went up from the middle airfield on Delta 2. This flashing symbol lets you know that an enemy is nearby the airfield, most likely above. When you're playing props, the one thing that you're mostly going to run into are bombers trying to take out airfield components. Your airfield components are divided up into 4 different segments. You're going to have your infantry, your hangars, your fuel, and I believe the other one is the runway. Before, a while ago, if you're looking at any of the other tutorial videos, before you used to be able to take out airfields, that was kind of how you won the game, was because you prevented your enemies from being able to fly out of that airfield. See a couple of people down there. That's most likely yep, that's the most likely the enemy surveillance. So now that we're up in the air, we're going to let everybody know, hey, this is where we're at, so that they can see. And as you'll notice, my aileron, my rudder, and my elevator automatically trimmed. Sometimes this can be frustrating. Most times it's actually a benefit, in my opinion. So I would definitely keep that. While we're flying here, we're just going to kind of go over my controls right now while we put in autopilot. So these are my controls. We'll kind of take a look at these real quick. So for control mode, this is just how I like to play. I'll kind of scroll down a little bit. You guys can pause at any given time and copy them as you'd like. A lot of these controls are, I spent a lot of time flying my A10 Warhog. I think it's absolutely great for farming and jets. If you guys are lucky enough to get that far in your War Thunder career, or if you guys are lucky enough to have it already, those are some of the controls that you're going to want to take a look at. Look at the simplified controls. I don't ever spend any time in here at all. Realistic controls, kind of go over that a little bit. Most of them are usually used in ground battles. You guys can feel free to pause at any given time and just copy these. Start at the top. When you see like MB4 and MB5, I have a mouse that has additional components to it. So anyways, we're going to go back to mouse aim. This is what I feel personally is my favorite. It's my best. And the reason that you're going to want hover mode is later in jets. We'll talk about that later. But so we're going to go back. So here's one thing about kind of knowing your plane, knowing your role. So my role here, I am bomber hunting. Okay, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for enemy targets that I can definitely smoke. Right now we have bombers at E6. The reason why is because I'm an energy fighter. In the P-51, this is arguably the best plane in the game. It closely rivals, I believe, the K4 in Germany. But I think that the P-51 wins all the time. This is one of those planes that kind of won the war, so to speak. We're going to turn in. We're going to see if we can see any of the enemy attackers or the bombers here. We're about 13,000 feet. I think I see the patch of bombers there. The one thing you're going to notice is as you guys get more into sim battles, your eyes are going to be a lot better at trying to identify targets. As you can see, we have a target here on our left. I think that is a lone bomber. We are just going to ping, and we're going to ping that this is a bomber or like an enemy target for our teammates. Oh, also, if you guys don't like the trim, we can kind of talk about that a little bit. You can type in trim here. I think it's in realistic controls. You just turn off. I keep mine on just because I don't want to worry about all that crap. All right, so we're gonna go get those bombers here. Hopefully before they leave. We're also seeing another target here. We're gonna ping them off. Really good thing about the P-51 is that we can actually move really fast. So you'll while we get down there, we're kind of talking. We'll talk about aiming a little bit. A lot of times when you get to targets, they're immediately going to start you in a roll. They're going to start spinning around in circles with you. You're most likely going to lose if you're facing a Japanese or British plane, because they are specifically made for turn fighting. It is actually insane. So we're going to sneak up on these bombers. The bombers are usually probably going around 300 miles per hour. They do have fighter cover as well, so you just gotta kind of pay attention to those guys because they will come behind you. And if you get enough, oh, the bombers disappeared. Well, this person, I don't know who this is, but they're not pinging back. It is a fundamental problem. We're gonna go check this guy out. We're gonna see who he is. This guy is a jet, which lets me know that it's most likely not American. You can kind of see here, we don't have any jets right now on our team. So this guy's definitely an enemy, most likely. We'll kind of speed up here. He might be dragging us over to an airfield. Because we're in a P-51H, we might be able to catch him. We're gonna come behind him. He doesn't see us. He doesn't have RWR, which is something else that we can talk about in when we talk a little bit more about jets. We're gonna know real quick if this guy is an enemy because he's going for this target. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think if he dives down, we might be able to catch him. I would highly doubt that this is a bomber, but maybe an ME-262. He just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Maybe he quit the game. I don't know. Or it was an AI. Maybe it was an AI. I don't know. Whatever it was, he clearly got taken out. There are a lot of moments in this game that you're going to have where you feel like you're chasing somebody and you just aren't successful in the chase, unfortunately. Okay. One of the other fundamentals that I like to talk about is get low. The reason why is because, as you can tell, while we've been up here, we can kind of look around, we can see targets and everything. But if I'm looking at the ground, if somebody's like right there, you're most likely not going to be able to see that, especially in like a shadowed environment. So usually I like to travel low, stay low, and then look up. That would be my recommendation if you're going to be moving. This will be really good for survivability. I actually hold this principle in jets as well. So we have somebody who's taken off from our airfield. This is a teammate. We have somebody that is on our airfield over there. Actually, it looks like he got shot down. Yeah, it looks like he got shot down. We'll keep a look at it in the battle chat. The battle chat's very useful for information as well. Okay, we got 2 targets in front of us. Stay a little low here. Just gonna ping for these guys. Those guys are probably about right there. That's a teammate. So that ping was close enough to me that he's probably just like thinking like, who am I? Okay, so I got these 2 guys in my sights. I'm assuming that they're flying together because they're flying combat. When you're flying combat with somebody, you're probably about a mile away from each other on horizontal playing fields, so like right next to each other. You are looking over to your partner's right, they're looking over to your left, letting you know if anybody's above you, below you, who's coming up, who's not. These look like 2 bombers. We're going to talk about this a little bit before this engagement. Bombers are really, really good in sim battles. Like the AI gunners are really stupid good. So you got to be very, very careful. I wouldn't be surprised if these were facing Germany. Yeah, they're okay. So we're gonna come up from below these guys because they're not gonna see us. I don't see anybody around us. Yeah, these guys are definitely flying together. When you are behind a bomber, you will have issues. They will shoot you out of the sky. There is one bomber that is a aggressive issue for Germany. It is the Ju-288. That bomber just does really good work. Okay, so we're gonna aim. Aim here. Okay. Yep. Very, very well done. Now we have a fuel leak. We're gonna move around. We're gonna come up on this guy. Okay. The aiming is really bad. Okay, we got an engine fire on him. Okay, we cannot control our airplane anymore. Where's the other guy? We're kind of gonna full send it here because we kind of don't have a choice. We're gonna die anyways. We know that. So do we try to get the guy that's probably going back to base, or do we get the new guy? We get the new guy. Okay. Yep, he's really good. Upside down hit. Love that for us. Critical. Severe. Okay, we have 200. We have 200 left. We're gonna go after our boy that's trailing. Okay, we got that guy. We're gonna gain speed. P-51 is holding up really well. We have 243 bullets left. We're gonna see what we can do here with this guy. I can tell you right now, he is not going. He's probably going like 200 miles per hour. So we're gonna try to catch up to him, lift up from behind him, and then knock him down. That was also a really bad engagement on my part. Don't do what I did. As you can tell, like I literally gave you guys warnings to not go behind a bomber for those specific reasons. He's going back to the airfield. He's going to try to land it, which lets me know that he is not in as bad shape as I think he is. Okay, we're going to cut throttle here. Okay. Okay, can we recover? We can recover. Okay, we're going to cut throttle to about 60%. We got 2 bombers there. And now we're going to try to make it back to base. I think our best bet is that way. Okay, so at 60%, we're going to let the engines cool down. We can still gain some speed. So hopefully the engines just kind of cool down here. They don't give out on us. Just in the air a little longer. Okay, the engine's definitely out. Put our gear down. Hopefully that's not a tree. What was the tree? Okay, we're gonna land on the battlefield. Okay. Crash landed, gave him the kill, whatever. So we know that those guys are going to be going to that location again, most likely. So we'll definitely respond there. But anyways, that's how to play the fundamentals of just air sim with propellers. So we went ahead, we talked about fundamentals, we talked about the trim, talked about how to take off, we talked about mouse and keyboard. So we're going to talk a little bit more actually about mouse and keyboard versus your stick. There are some advantages in air sim using those materials. So if you get the VR, you don't need to waste time kind of pressing keys or looking around, because that's usually how I lose people in turn fighting. Is I lose them because they might blend in with the cloud or blend in with the ground, which is why I said to stay low. Using a stick, you are less likely to spin out using a stick, especially if you do it correctly. One thing to let you know that if you're going to spin out, I'll actually show you real quick. We'll get in here real quick and I'll show you how to know if you're going to spin out. It has to do with your speed, the plane that you're in, and how aggressively you're turning. Those bombers, are those ours? Are ours. All right, fantastic. Also, by the way, the only reason that I knew why those were ours is because it says cover the bombers at D3 and we're in D3 right now. Okay, so if we're turning, you don't see any contrails on my wings right now. Now watch what happens if I pitch up and I'm not going fast enough. So we're gonna pitch up a little bit more. You see the contrails? The more aggressively that those wind funnels are spinning, it lets you know that you're about to spin out. So if I'm here, I'm at 200 miles an hour, right? Say there's somebody right there. Say I'm like engaging in a turn fight. You can also kind of tell how aggressively, if I pitch up, you see how they're getting a little more aggressive, they're getting a little more aggressive, they're getting a little more aggressive, and then all of a sudden, and there we go. And I'll start spinning out. So you got to be very careful. You got to mind your speed. Some planes are energy fighters, some planes are turn fighters. Everything has a role. So say if I'm aggressively turning, if I am aggressively turning and pitching up, you'll notice that the cockpit is getting violent. You'll notice the contrails are going. And if I go and pitch up really aggressively, then all of a sudden, and pretty soon here, we're going to just start spinning out. There it is. So, and once you spin out, it's really hard to recover, right? So the one thing that you can do, I'm just wasting silver lines at this point, but it's for the good of the cause. So one thing that you can do is once we're up in the air. Okay, so we're up. So what you can do on a turn, notice my speed is about 170. So we'll get a little bit more realistic with speed. You're probably going to be around like maybe 250 to 300 when you engage in a turn fight in props. Raise our flaps here, gain some more speed. Okay. So right now we'll start a turn. We're about 275 right now. So you don't need to turn as aggressively. Just have it a little more down, like the cursor a little more down. This will make your turn sharper. Once you're up here, you're actually losing altitude, or you're gaining altitude, losing a lot of speed, burning a lot of energy. You don't want to do that. So just keep it down, just like that. You maintain your altitude, maintain your speed. You might drop in altitude a little bit, but you can always recover that, and you can actually turn a little sharper. So, all right. We'll actually go back because we didn't talk about landing. So we'll actually cut throttle here. We'll look for the airfield. I think it's pretty much behind us. Here we go. We'll go out combat flaps. I think around 200 is a good place to start doing your gear. If you pull the brakes too hard on a prop plane, your prop is going to go straight down. Okay. We're actually going to do a belly landing here. Just because we busted one of the gears while I was talking. I wasn't paying attention to my speed. Sorry. 200 for gear is probably a little bit excessive. That's probably more for jets. Okay. We're going to do a belly landing. If you are on wheels and you hit the ground and you press the brake to brake hard, your plane is going to go like this. And it's going to immediately nose down, kind of like I did at the tank battle a little earlier. So, all right, I want you guys to take these tips. I want you to go out. I want you to give it a shot. Let me know if you guys are still having issues in the comments below. I'd love to help you guys out. Enjoy the rest of the content. I love the fact that we're on your algorithm now. And you know what? Catch us in a stream. We're usually live Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? We're always releasing content every day. Much love. Great to see you. If you guys enjoyed these tips, hit that like button. Definitely subscribe. Definitely helps to grow the account. We'd love to get more people in here so that we can get some good fundamentals. And like I said, if I wanted you to take away anything from this video at all, it was T41. T41. Let everybody know where you're at all times. Everyone on your team should know where you're at. Enemy team, they're not going to see that T41. So T41. That's all I want you to do. All right. Take it easy. And I wish you guys the best of luck trying out these tips. Let me know if you guys have any issues, and catch you guys in the next one.